Okay, calm down.
Speaking of the elections, do you have any thoughts about Marianne Williamson or RFK Jr.?
Well, I didn't understand Marianne Williamson when she first ran. That's on me. I take that as a fault of mine because as I got to know her, I've interviewed her on my own radio and TV show. I've been on hers. I have great respect. I'm only saddened that someone with that level of sophistication, that level of understanding, that level of compassion is not taken seriously the way she ought to be. And that people who are in the worst demagogic tradition imaginable, riding on whatever they think will get them through the next primary election or whatever it is they're looking for, those people get the attention. But I don't mind telling you, I blame mainstream media. They make a choice about who to cover and how to cover them. They like to tell you they only do what's out there. That's not true. They make lots of decisions. Every now and then they get caught when people say you made the wrong one, as with CNN and Trump the other night. But in fact, they're always making decisions, whether you like them or agree with them or not. And we really ought not to do that. If you're able to qualify as a candidate, then it's the obligation of the system to give the people a chance to hear what you're for and what you're against and whether you are offering something different. If Marianne Williamson had half a chance to do that, I think she'd be a much bigger player in all of this than she is now. And the worst I can imagine is that we're going to have a rerun of Biden and Trump, and I find that a comment on the level of denial in this society worse than anything I could ever say is simply that raw prospect for the country to be reduced to.
And any thoughts on Bobby Kennedy Jr.?
No, but again, I'm so disappointed. I'm using it as polite a term as I know how, in deference to you and your audience. I'm so disappointed in what the Republican and Democratic parties bring forward. Yeah, that I'm grateful for Kennedy. I'm grateful for Williamson. I'm grateful for any, and there are others in the wings thinking about it or trying or maybe considering. And I hope they do because it's such a comment, and I spend a lot of time reading newspapers, particularly European newspapers that I've come over the years to rely on, French, British, German, particularly. I read those languages, so I can do that. The spectacle there, what you get, you don't even get detail. You just get a shaking of the head. And when you ask, what does that shaking of your head mean? They say, we understand the enormous power of the United States. But the disconnect between the position in the world you still have and the kinds of leadership you seem prepared to endorse frightens us. It's a country that is out of control. And when we pick up the headline and read about the 247th mass shooting so far this year, we say to ourselves, wow, it really is. It's not just the leadership. The whole country is kind of dissolving. And I notice the Pew Charitable Trust, they do very good polling about the United States, and a lot of cultural questions. They recently did a poll asking Americans, how do you view the future? Tell us what you think about America in the year 2050. So, 25 years from now. It's universally like 70 to 80% gloom and doom. Nobody knows the future, but it tells you that people have a sense that the trajectory, they know. So when I say denial, I should be more nuanced. Yeah, it's denial of the declining empire explicitly, but there is a recognition under the surface that something, they don't know what word to put on it, is really off. And it's very worrisome. It just hasn't yet become articulated in language that we could exchange.